Must-be true questions are one of the most common types of questions on the LSAT logical reasoning section, and they are essential for building the skills you need to dominate the LSAT. And the cool thing is, once you understand the structures underlying this type of question, you'll find them a whole lot more manageable, even the tricky ones. Today, I'm going to break down for you how to spot, solve, and conquer must-be true questions. But first, for those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. Now, first, we're going to walk through how to recognize must-be true questions based on their question stem. Second, we're going to look at the key reasoning structures underlying this type of question, including conditional logic, comparison, and causation. And finally, we'll look at trap answer patterns to help you avoid tempting wrong answer choices. First, how do we spot must-be true questions on logical reasoning? You're going to look for phrases like, which one of the following must also be true? What can be properly inferred based on the information above? And what follows logically from the statements above? All of these questions are asking you to find what must be true based on the given information, which means we're not guessing, we're not making any outside assumptions, and even if the wording varies a little bit from the examples I gave, the core task remains the same. You want to know what is guaranteed by the stimulus. Now, let's look at some key reasoning structures in must-be-true questions. Firstly, conditional logic, which is becoming more important than ever now that logic games is no longer tested on the LSAT. LSAT is incorporating more conditional logic in the logical reasoning section, which involves if-then relationships. For example, if A requires B and B requires C, therefore A requires C. This is a basic core foundational reasoning structure on the LSAT. Your job here is to look at the connections between the conditional statements and anticipate what these relationships imply. Secondly, we want you to look at comparative reasoning, where you're comparing one group with another and recognize numerical reasoning. So for example, a small percentage can still be a very large number, and a large percentage can still be a very small number. And LSAT will try to trick you with comparisons that may not be fully supported by the information in the stimulus. And finally, even though these are a little bit less common, you want to be aware of causal relationships based on conditional statements, where each link in the chain will allow you to infer the final outcome, similar to the A requires B requires C example that I gave earlier. Now, LSAT, as I mentioned, they love to trip you up. They love to put in tempting wrong answer choices. Let's look at a handful of them here. I'm going to present you with the 5 of the most common wrong answer patterns in LSAT must-be true questions. First, answer choices that are out of scope, that introduce new terms or concepts that were not supported by the stimulus. Secondly, unsupported relationships that inappropriately connect ideas or build on logic that is not backed up by the information given in the stimulus. Third, too closely related concepts, reversal and negation, where LSAT is improperly flipping or negating conditional or causal relationships. Fourth, answer choices that are simply far too strong or overreach, that make claims beyond what was supported by the stimulus. And finally, choices that directly conflict or contradict the information provided. You want to cross these off immediately, but they can be really tempting because one little word could totally flip the logic of what the choice was saying. So have that eagle eye ready to look at every single word of the choice. Now let's tie it all together here. What is our step-by-step approach for must-be-true questions? First, ID the question type. We're looking for key phrases like must be true or can be inferred. Secondly, analyze the stimulus, break down each piece of information, link together terms or concepts if necessary, look at the reasoning structures in the stimulus. Third, predict or pre-phrase the answer before you go into the choices. Fourth, knock out any obviously wrong trap answers. And finally, double check, confirm that what you're choosing is fully supported by the stimulus, nothing more, nothing less. And of course, if you'd like my help with LSAT must be true questions or anything else on the LSAT, whether logical reasoning or reading comp, there are a wide variety of ways that I can support you on your journey to scoring a 170 or above. You can check out the links below to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.